I remember the sound of the courtroom door closing behind me. Soft, final. That was the moment I understood what betrayal really sounds like when it thinks it's winning. She sat across the aisle, chin lifted, eyes wet on command. Months of rehearsal in her posture. She didn't look at me. She never could when she lied. Her lawyer said my name like it tasted bitter. Pattern of obsession, escalation, fear for her life. I watched the judge nod. I breathed, because panic is for people without leverage. Once, she was the person I trusted with hospital passwords and late-night silences. We met in a clean, ordinary way. Coffee, shared jokes, the relief of being understood without explanation. She learned my routines. I learned her tells. We talked about cities we'd visit together. Montreal in spring, Vancouver in fall, Chicago someday for the architecture. Then my body betrayed me before she did. A spinal infection, sudden, violent. I woke up staring at ceiling tiles that never changed. Toronto General became my world. IV lines like anchors, days measured in pain management schedules, and the patience of nurses who knew how to speak softly without pity. She visited at first, held my hand, took photos of us smiling, posted captions about strength and love. I believed her because believing was easier than surviving alone. When the visit stopped, I told myself it was distance, fatigue, life. I was wrong. The email arrived on a Tuesday. Subject line, Notice of Civil Action. I read it once, then again, then slowly, like a language I used to know. She claimed I followed her for months, across 3 cities, claimed I waited outside her apartment, claimed she changed routes because of me, claimed fear. The dates were precise. That was her mistake, because I knew exactly where I was on every one of those days. Flat on my back, drugged, monitored, charted, witnessed. Pain sharpened into something else, something clean. I didn't call her. I didn't respond. I didn't defend myself. I started preparing. Hospitals keep records the way oceans keep secrets, deep, comprehensive, unforgiving. I requested everything: admission logs, nursing notes, medication administration times, physiotherapy records, visitor sign-ins, security footage from hallways I never left. I hired a forensic accountant before I hired a lawyer. Quiet, expensive, effective. Then a digital analyst, someone who could read metadata like fingerprints. Her social media posts lined up too neatly with my immobilization. Photos tagged in Vancouver while I was learning how to sit upright again. Stories from Montreal when I couldn't feel my legs. A selfie in Chicago during a week I had 3 MRIs and a fever that almost took me. She said I followed her. My phone hadn't left my bedside table. We pulled GPS data from my carrier, hospital Wi-Fi logs, badge scans from restricted floors, every movement I didn't make documented by machines that never forget. And then we found the money. Fear is profitable if you know how to sell it. She'd signed with a litigation funding firm 2 weeks before filing. Advance cash, high interest, big expectations. She'd also pitched a streaming producer, Survivor's Story, draft treatments, emails full of language she didn't use unless she was performing. I watched her build a stage out of my supposed obsession. So I built a trap out of facts. The hearing was set for Friday. Media buzzed. Hashtags bloomed. I arrived early, not to be seen, but to listen. She testified with a tremor she practiced in the mirror, named streets, hotels, times. She cried once precisely where her lawyer paused. Then my attorney stood. We didn't argue, we played. Hospital footage first, time-stamped. Me, unmoving, being turned by nurses while she claimed I was outside her apartment. Medication records next. Narcotics that left me barely conscious during the hours I supposedly followed her through airports. Visitor logs. She signed them herself, on days she claimed she was hiding from me in another province. The judge leaned forward. My attorney ended with GPS data layered over city maps. My phone glowing steadily inside Toronto General, her story dissolving in real time. The room changed temperature. She finally looked at me then. I didn't smile. The fallout was efficient. The lawsuit collapsed. Sanctions followed. The litigation funder withdrew and demanded repayment. The producer went silent. Platforms suspended her accounts pending investigation. Perjury isn't dramatic, it's administrative. It comes with dates and consequences, and no audience applause. She tried to speak to me in the hallway, said my name like it used to mean something. I walked past her. Some endings don't deserve dialogue. Weeks later, the settlement offer arrived. Quiet, apologetic, heavy with zeros. I declined. Instead, I filed my own claim: malicious prosecution, defamation, emotional distress, supported by documentation thick enough to bend the table. I didn't want her money. I wanted the record to be clean. Now, when I think back to that courtroom door closing, I understand what it really was. Not an ending, a lock clicking into place. She tried to rewrite me as a threat while I couldn't even stand. She mistook stillness for weakness. She thought being unseen meant being powerless. But hospitals teach you something valuable: how to wait, how to endure, how to let machines and time tell the truth for you. I didn't chase her, I outlasted her. And when the truth finally stood up on its own, it didn't need me to raise my voice. It just needed me to be patient. I was very good at that.